Hey moms, so happy you are tuning in today. Today is just my favorite topic, and I think it's my favorite topic because I'm pretty well versed in it because it's what I live with every single day. And you might say, oh, she's going to talk about Charlie and his ADHD and all her kids and all that. No, that's not what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about something that you need to live with every day, which is your thoughts and your beliefs. So what does that mean? Well, what I want you to know is that when I work with moms, I don't harp on their next right action. I don't. I first listen to them. I listen to where their child is. Yes, I ask, what is your child eating? What class is he in? How is he doing? What do you see as the problem areas? And I work with the moms like that. And then after I take it all in, I listen to what they're really thinking, which is, are they in despair? Are they hopeless? Do they have nowhere else to turn? And I remind them that it's their beliefs that need to begin the healing. So my belief is my Charlie will be healed. My Charlie will be healed. He's healing every day. And I will tell you that when I used to cry myself to sleep every night when he was very young, that was not always my thought, because I was listening to all the doctors, all the practitioners, all the people who said, well, there's no cure for ADHD. And listen, you can go on the web right now and you'll see there's no cure. There's no cure for ADHD. But it's funny because then you could also look into cases where there is recovery from ADHD and spectrum disorders. So that's interesting. You can look to see that, there's no real cure for fibromyalgia or lupus. There's so many things that they'll say there's no cure to. But then you search for the cures or the people that have been cured, and you're like, oh, well, so I guess healing is possible. So when you fill your mind with a cure, the possibility of a cure, near recovery, full recovery, healing, getting better every day, then your brain will seek out evidence to support that belief. You'll run into the next person, the next practitioner. You'll read a book on the next diet. You'll find countless recovery stories on YouTube, or just Google them and just see what those moms did. And that's what I did back then. After I got through crying all the time, after I got finished listening to the doctors that told me he would never be capable of original thought, and that came when he was just about to turn 5, which at the very same time is when I met up with a different doctor, or more of a holistic functional nurse practitioner, who said, this is brain inflammation. His brain's like drunk, let's work with this. Let's decrease that inflammation. Let's clean up his yeast. And it just went from there. And as soon as I started to see little bit of evidence that, wait a minute, there could be a different way of looking at this, I thought, no way, we're healing this. We're healing this. Because I started to believe that if I could get a little bit of healing, why can't I get all of it? Seriously. And it really did remind me of a time that it was years ago. I bought one of my kids this blue moon sand, and I let him play with it. He was like 3, and I got a lot of quiet time out of that. And then I realized it was way too quiet, so I went upstairs and we had like off-white rugs upstairs because what do I know? So the rug was blue. And I remember going, oh my gosh, and I got out this, the vacuum, and I vacuumed, and then I shampooed the rug, and I got it like 70% clean, and I was pretty happy with that. And I'd already worked on it for hours, and I was so disappointed though. I was happy that it was 70% clean, but I was really disappointed with how bad it still looked. And I thought, oh, I'll just give it an hour or so to set, and I'd take a break and let me come back to it, which I did. And I got it like 80% clean at the end of that. And I thought, well, let me just do that again. And so long story short is I got it after a number of times, maybe about 85% clean from the first moment that I had walked in there. And I let it be. And the next day when I woke up, I thought, well, wait a second. If I could get it 70% clean, then 80% clean, then 85% clean, why can't I get it 100% clean? And I just didn't stop. And like every day I would just shampoo that rug again and shampoo it again. And I don't know how many times I did it. Could have been 4, could have been 5, could have been 15. I don't remember. 100% clean. And so that thought came to me one day when I saw a little bit of success with Charlie. And I thought, well, if I could clean him up a little bit and he got a little bit better, when everybody told me that the trajectory of where his life was heading was just like down the tubes, well, then why can't I keep going? why can't I keep going? And so I'm just keep going. I just keep going. He's doing so great. But the reason he's doing so great isn't because of these amazing actions that I take. It really stems from the belief that I have. He will be healed. He will be healed. And when you are in that mode of possibility, it's amazing. Your brain will open up. You get really creative. You start to put pieces together that maybe you didn't originally link. You're open to conversations that you hear happening around you. Oh, really? You have a situation like that? You might hear of a story. One time I heard of a woman talking about her husband that had a brain injury from a stroke and what they had done with him. And the results were unbelievable. Well, my takeaway when I walked away from that, even though my child hadn't had a stroke, I was like, oh, more evidence that the brain is completely malleable and we're going to keep going. Like that was to me a boost because that is my thought. And so I want you to know that back when he was very young, I would cry myself to sleep. I understand what it feels like to be in despair and what it feels like to be hopeless. And I also know that it's really challenging to say, oh, Billy's going to be healed when it does not look like Billy is going to be healed at all. So I'm asking you to do what I did in the beginning, which was I literally knew I didn't have the strength to look at that, to look beyond my despair. But I did know that the creator of the universe could do it for me. So I would literally be on my knees like, God, I know we're going to heal this kid and you're going to help me. And I don't have the strength to believe in this hope, but I know you can give it to me. So sometimes I would just ask for like this infusion of hope. Give it to me, God, because I can't find it. I can't do it. So use that strategy as well. That I do every single day. And also when your hopes are that your child will be healed, when you get maybe an email from the teacher or a phone call from the teacher, or you're seeing your child possibly backslide or regress, because your belief is absolutely that they are healing, you don't fall apart so easily. You go, they're not doing their work at school, or they're having outbursts, or they're starting to tantrum again, or wow, they're so congested lately. Wow, their joints are hurting. This is what's going on? And you start thinking. You don't fall apart. You start thinking. You start tweaking, and you start going, oh, let me try this, because if your car broke down one day, you don't immediately fall apart and go, oh my God, forget it. It's never going to run again. No, you're going to bring it to the mechanic. You're going to ask them to diagnose it. You're going to get them to fix it. And you have the absolute belief that it's going to be okay and that they're going to fix it. You don't fall apart. So I need you to think that same way with your child. It's going to be fixed. It's going to be fine. It's going to take a little while. We're going to tweak it here and there. We're going to be fine. He's going to be great. All right? So chin up, chin up. If you ever are feeling that you need for me to be that broken record again to tell you it's going to be great, just press play again. All right? You got this, moms.